Red Nation, are we here?
The best show for Chicago sports. Y'all know what day it is. Happy Jackie Robinson Day, everybody. Happy Friday. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Live. And we got Bulls playoffs this weekend, baby. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. On today's show, we got the playoff preview, baby. Bulls, Bucks preview. Let's get to it. We also got to break down Draymond Green saying that his 73-9 Warriors are the greatest team of all time. Would you agree? Would you disagree? We got to break that down as well. And who's the Cinderella story in the NBA this year? There's always one, right? There's always one. Who is it this season? All that and more on today's Windy City to Breeze Sports Talk Live. Let's do it. Shout out to y'all for pulling up and rocking with us for another show. Y'all already know how we do, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the page. So we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. I know things running a little bit behind. It's interesting, dog, like navigating all of this stuff, trying to do it live, trying to make everything happen, you know what I'm saying? All while trying to like be at home and be a stay-at-home dad and stuff like that, man. I don't know if I say a stay-at-home dad, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm at home with my baby. So it's interesting. Some days you just like running in, you dive in the studio, barrel roll into the chair, start typing as fast as you can to get everything on there. And then all of a sudden you just show up and you be like, hey, what's good? But we here. It's a Friday. We're excited. The Chicago Bulls are in the playoffs. And it's Jackie Robinson Day, so I had to come with the fresh 42 jersey. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Let's get this mug cracking by hitting that like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the page, make sure you do. We're giving that Ayo DeSumo away in the playoffs. One way or another, we're going to find a way to give it away, man. Let's get into this, though. Let's get into this. Let's break it down. Let's dissect it. And remember, we ain't getting no foul calls. Jaden, you know, we ain't getting no foul calls. And that's going to be interesting, right? That is a major key part of what we have to break down here. That's a major key part of what we have to break down here. The Chicago Bulls taking on the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Playoffs, baby. Woo! The Chicago Bulls taking on the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. And it's not going to be easy. And I ain't going to lie to you. I had a message to all y'all people that come in here and y'all just like, oh, man, we finna get blown. That live in the negative, bro. That's what you got to call it, right? That's what you got to call it. That live in the negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost to the point where, like, I think y'all want the Bucks to win. I think y'all want the Bucks to win. It's some people out here that I absolutely feel like are Bucks fans that come in here but they was rooting for the Bulls this season. You know what I mean? Like, I sit there, I'm like, dog, like, are you a Bulls fan? Do you want to see your team win? Do you want to see your team succeed? Because all I see is the negative. And I get like, it's like, this is what's real. This is what's really going to happen. It might be, but dog, what happened to fans being fans? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm coming in here talking big trash. I'm coming in here talking big trash. Bulls in 6. Now, when I give you the honest assessment of the game, I'm going to assess where these things are going to go, how the Bulls might struggle here, where the Bulls might struggle, where the Bulls might be able to pull out a win. But it's wild to me that like mugs are almost like rooting for the Bulls to lose. I just want my misery to end. I just want it to be over. I'm tired. What are you tired of? Who lives like this, dog? It's all good though, man. We're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. Listen, you already know we will be live for the live call, so make sure you guys have your butts parked over here. We're gonna be live for the Chicago Bulls versus Milwaukee Bucks. The first playoff game the Bulls have played since Jimmy Butler was in the city. Jimmy Butler since then has been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals and an NBA championship. The first playoff series the Bulls have been in a while, and the first time we've matched up against the Bucks since that 2015 year when Giannis came crashing into what's his name? Was that Mike Dunleavy Jr. that was on that team then? Giannis didn't like that they were getting their butts kicked, and so he came crashing in to a Mike Dunleavy Jr. trying to take him out, man. Y'all remember that? I remember that. And it's not going to be an easy one, right? It's not. Listen, I don't come into this saying that this is going to be something that the Bulls are going to cakewalk through. I don't think that we're coming in this saying that this is something. There's a lot of people that are coming in. Like, I'm okay with you saying, like, hey, we might not win. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're saying, hey, we might not win. Because that's a real assessment of it. But at least, are you cheering for us to win? Good Lord. But as I look at this game and how game one's going to match up, right, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lineup Billy Donovan puts out there, because we've seen a lot of different lineups in this matchup this season, right? We've seen a lot of different lineups get put into this matchup. We've seen a lot of different teams kind of come out and try to, or a lot of different players come out and try to guard Giannis, and the one that's actually done it the best has been Patrick Williams. Now, granted, it was in a game where we got beat by 20, and you really didn't need it, but that also plays into it right there, right? Like, you have to find a way to get your offense moving in the right direction. You just have to. That's going to be the biggest key for the Chicago Bulls team coming into this. And for me, right, like, I'm looking at the different matchups that could be out there when you're talking about the other guys. Do you go with a Caruso on Drew Holiday? Do you go with a Ayo Dosunmu on Drew Holiday, which we know hasn't worked, right? Like, I feel like you have to go with the veteran presence there, right? Like, you have to go with the guys that have been in this situation and played defense at a heavy level. And if you notice, I threw Derrick Jones in there. Listen, Derrick Jones has been on these teams that have won. Derrick Jones has been to the playoffs before. Derrick Jones has played defense. I'm not saying I want him on Giannis, but I do want to see him getting some minutes. I also want to see these guys. There's a lot on the defensive end, and I'm going to be real with you. There's a lot to take from what we saw from this Bulls team on the defensive end in that last game. The problem for us was you couldn't knock down a shot. The problem for us was we couldn't knock down a shot. So you got to find a way to knock down, not only knock down shots, but keep that intensity that you had, right? I told y'all in that game, I felt good about how the Bulls were playing defense against the Milwaukee Bucks, but I feel like they hit shots through tough defense. All I can ask you to do is make their life as hard as possible. They're the NBA champions. You're not just going to come out and stop them. right? You're not just gonna come out and hey, we're gonna completely stop what you're doing. They understand what this first round is. They understand how this matchup is gonna go. They understand what they got to do to get the job done. So you got to make their job as difficult as possible. But on the other side, right, like there's such a path for the Bulls to be successful in this playoffs, and I feel like a lot of Bulls fans just don't see it. They concede the three. Why? Because we got Brook Lopez, we got Bobby Portis, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. We'll rather play down low. They concede the three. They will give you the three. They want you to take the three ball. They don't want anything to do with you out there, and they want you to beat them from that 3-point shot. As you match up here, man, I mean, listen. It finishes out with the Bulls shooting 36% on the year, of course, because we had those high totals. They finished fourth in the NBA in three-point field goal percentage. The Bucks are able to knock that thing down as well. The Bucks are able to knock that thing down as well. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bucks are able to come out and absolutely get you a shot from the 3-point line. So you have to, like I said, make it tough on them. Try to run them off of that line. But on the flip side, here's where it gets ugly for the Bulls, right? Here's where it gets ugly for the Bulls. Second in the NBA in rebounding. Guess what? We're tied for 28th. That's a problem. That's a problem. How do you get more rebounds out of that? That's where I said this is where that interesting lineup is going to come in. Now, I will say this, though. The thing that a lot of people don't take into account, the thing that a lot of people don't look at when you're talking about those lineups is that these numbers don't factor in as much with Patrick Williams on the floor. If you've got P. Will on the floor, that makes a difference. If you've got P. Will on the floor, it makes a difference for you, not only just on the defensive end, but also on the rebounding end. Remember when we were saying there was a lot of people saying, oh, he ain't going to be able to get out there and get to the ball. He's not going to be able to rebound. He's not going to be, okay, hey, listen. He's done a good job at that. He's done a good job at that. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like, the most important thing that the Bulls can do here is not give the Bucks multiple opportunities to kill you. You have to take the one-on-ones. You have to take the one shot. Hey, listen, I got the rebound on this, and that's going to be tough, right? Brook Lopez down there, of course. Giannis probably going to be down in the paint. You almost want to write like the goal here is to try and turn Giannis into a jump shooter, which is almost impossible. But that for me, that's got to be P. Will's goal coming into this. Right? Like that's got to be P. Will's goal coming into this. You have to turn Giannis into a jump shooter. The only way you're going to be able to come out of one of these games in Milwaukee here with a dub is to turn Giannis into a jump shooter. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard task. It's almost an impossible task. But maybe P. Will can find that. Maybe he can dig deep and find that. Right? Like maybe he's the guy that's going to be able to defend Giannis on the other end. And then all of a sudden, their game plan changes. That's what the playoffs is all about. That's what the playoffs is all about, man. Coming into this and forcing them to change what they want to do. For the Bulls coming into this, you have to take one of these games in Milwaukee. You have to take one of these games in Milwaukee. You got to get game one. Right? Come out and punch them in the mouth. And Milwaukee's they're probably gonna lollygag with you. They're probably gonna hit you with the, hey, you know what I'm saying? Do what you do. Okay, we're gonna there's never gonna be more of an opportunity to take a game. What's good, Prodigy? There's never gonna be more of an opportunity to take a game than right off the bat in game one. You're never gonna have that same chance, right? Because that's the time where you might be able to catch them off guard. That's the time where you might be able to get them, you know, maybe not being as focused in on you. And for the Bulls, right, that's the time where you can change what they want to do defensively, and that can change the series. If the Bulls are able to come out and knock down that three ball early, if the Bulls are able to come out and knock down that three ball early, if the Bulls are able to come out and consistently make them change their defense in game one, now it changes how they play you the rest of the series, right? Because if you can do that and even get close, If you make it a tight game one playing that, now they're not going to come into game two playing you the same way. Now it opens up opportunity for DeMar DeRozan to get in there and knock down that mid-range. Now it opens up opportunity for Vooch to get down low and knock down that shot there. You know what I'm saying? There's such a key, and it's going to be so much on the bench, and it's tough because there's so much youth on this bench and so much inexperience on this bench, right? There's so much youth and inexperience on this bench. So for you to come out and have a good matchup here, you have to have those guys like Kobe White, unfortunately, who's been in a shooting slump for the last 2 months. You have to have those guys like Ayo Dosunmu, who is kind of finally got himself out of his funk, but really hasn't shot the ball well over the last couple of months, and also has the toughest matchup on the floor, right? And you have to find a way to knock down those open looks. Hey, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. It's on Javonte Green. It's on Derrick Jones Jr. It's on all of those guys because they're conceding those shots to you. If you're not going to knock down shots, this is going to be a very quick series. It's going to be a very, very quick series. They're giving you those shots. You can knock them down. And what that does is it absolutely changes how they're going to be able to defend you. They're only going to give you those shots for so long. Eventually, they're going to adjust. If they adjust by the second half, guess what? Now your mid-range assassin, who absolutely has been dominant this season, can go to work. I'm looking at this entire lineup here, man. I'm looking at this entire lineup. Let's break down how this Bulls team is going to be able to be successful coming into this playoff series. Look at the roster. Look at the players that are here. You have stars on this roster. It's time for you to play like stars. I need my stars to buy in on the defensive end. When have the Bulls been the most successful? When have the Bulls been the most successful? If you look at what's led to our success moving throughout the season, it's been those games where we talk about, hey, Zach LaVine was a really good defender in this one. Hey, DeMar DeRozan was a really good defender in this one. Hey, Vooch did a good job down low in this one. Set the tone. Your stars have to set the tone. You've got DeMar. He's averaging 27, 5, and 4, 0.9 steals and a block. We need that 0.9 steal. We need that 0.9 steal. You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need you on that defensive end to show that, because when you saw, even in the Bucks game when DeMar was really getting after him defensively, all of a sudden it changed the game for the Chicago Bulls. All of a sudden now the team is riding. We're flying. And think about even back to when we had Lonzo on the floor still, right? The defense led to better offense, and it changed how the teams you were playing were able to play defense. A steal and a fast break, able to put up the float, boom. Now all of a sudden it's a different game. Now, if you're winning on the defensive end, they feel like they have to play a little bit tougher on the defensive end. What does that do? Just like with the Bulls. The same thing is true for both teams. It's just that team is a lot better right now than you are. It's just that team is a lot better right now than you are, right? But if you make them press on one end, they're going to have to do more on that end, and it's going to take away from the other. If you make them have to work a little bit harder on the defensive end, then on the offensive end, guess what's going to happen? They got to, hey, we got to work harder down there. We got to stop them down there. You get them on their heels. You get them moving backwards. These are the things that the Bulls were doing early in the year that we didn't see them do late in the year. There's a lot of important pieces on this team. There's a lot of moving parts on this team. And I think that there's a lot of talent on this team. I'm not saying that they're going to come in here and all of a sudden they're going to flip a switch, right? Like, I don't think that that's realistic to say. I do have this series going 4-2 in a realistic sense, but I'll tell you this right now. If you're able to take game one, you can change everything for them. If you're able to take game one, you can absolutely change everything for them. How do you take game one? That's where it starts. It's not about taking game 2, game 3, game 4 right now. It's about taking game 1. It's about making the game easier for you and continuing to do that the entire series. How do you do that? Game 1 sets the tone for everything you want to do the rest of the series. When you come out and you punch a team in the mouth, it's all about how they're going to respond. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Bucks' response to the Bulls is we're going to have to give you the lane, there's a shot for the Bulls. Is it a great shot? No. Because the Bulls have to continue to put the pressure on the Bucks' throats and keep knocking down those deep shots so that it keeps that pressure there. As the pettiest man alive in the building. Ooh, I like the new angle, my boy.
Oh, man. Appreciate it. Can you hear me?
I got you. Loud and clear, my boy. How
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Hey, man. Had a moment. You know, like I said, things told you give it a few weeks, things ease up, and I'll be here. Told you. Hey, the plan's coming to the plan is working, baby. Plan is working.
City Fent was the problem.
You said what?
I said you didn't have to tell me. City Fent was the one that was upset with you, man. I don't know.
Oh man, listen, I'm not worried about that guy.
Oh man,
he didn't even have a profile
today,
pic.
my boy?
He didn't even have a profile pic. I'm right. No, man, I'm was listening into the convo, and you know the playoffs are interesting because you know what, for as much flack as he got, Patrick Beverley had dropped some gems in his interview with the NBA TV crew in his Versace robe. Shout out to him for keeping it real. He said one game you could lose by 20, and next one you could win by 20.
Yep.
And so right now, I think the reality is don't look at game one for whatever it is and be like, oh, this team sucks, because I mean, historically, we can go back. Some of the best teams have gotten blown out in the playoffs. That's why the playoffs are a best of 7. You know, I think we got some breaking news right there. You want to confirm that?
We got some. Hold on, what we got? Hold on. Let me double check. Hold on. Let me go to the other one. You know, you got to go to the right Twitter here. Baki's always coming through. Oh wow, we do got a little bit of breaking news on the channel. Good Lord,
that's a game changer.
Oh my gosh, that is huge. I don't have the sounder ready because I got a new soundboard. I got to add it to
changer,
it.
bro.
I failed on that one. Clippers star Paul George has entered health and safety protocols and will miss tonight's play-in game versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Yo, Pelicans in the playoffs. Hey.
No, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Because when Paul George went down, Kawhi Leonard went down, and Powell went down, they still maintain a 500 record, I believe. Ty Lue is a good coach, and guess what? Reggie Jackson is a bucket. And in this case, they still do have Norman Powell, who is also a bucket. I'm not going to count them out. I'm not counting them out.
For me with that though, it's about
I think they play better without PG right now.
Dog, no, for me with that, it's all about hey man. When I saw breaking news, I thought it was gonna say Giannis. That's dirty. I shouldn't say that. But but no. I'm gonna be real with you though. For me, it's about how are you gonna defend not just Paul George, or not just like CJ McCollum and BI, like PG's normally on BI, right? But not having him, you have to commit somebody not only to CJ, not only to BI, but also to Jonas Valanciunas, who has been getting buckets down there. And I would love for the Bulls to possibly trade for next season. If y'all saw the latest Locked On Bulls, tune into that. Fam, listen. You don't want to trade for a dude that's making $15 million and is giving you 18 and 11?
No, because that's what Vooch gives me.
Yeah, but
Valanciunas, I've watched Valanciunas. I like Valanciunas. He
I
does
love
nothing that Vooch
Valanciunas.
doesn't.
I
He does
love
absolutely nothing that Vooch doesn't. For anyone who sits there, and I'm not coming at you, but it's a large conglomerate of people who say Vooch is a problem. You need to stop commenting on basketball, and you need to watch the game. Shut up, sit down, watch a game through and through, and don't just look at the highlights. Watch a full game, click with your clicker, watch some tape, and realize Vooch is not the problem. Vooch gets beat because he has no help. Vooch is the help, and when the help helps, someone has to swing and help him. That's how basketball is played.
Yeah.
So until you all sit there and really watch the game, shut the hell up talking about Vooch is the problem.
Oh, I wouldn't say
Vooch
Vooch
is
is
probably the
problem.
most second most consistent player on the team.
I
I would
wouldn't
give
say,
him the first, to be honest with you, because he has nearly 40 double-doubles.
oh, I ain't saying Vooch is a problem. I'm saying to put next to Vooch. I'm saying to put next to Vooch because then Vooch can actually play that mid-range, play outside, and we got our rebounding threat right there.
First of all, I just want to get this whole narrative out there. There's only so many traditional bigs in the league.
There's only one.
It's 4.
Traditional?
Steven Adams. Vucevic is a traditional big. Valanciunas is more of a traditional big.
I don't know if I say Vooch is traditional with it.
Rudy Gobert is a traditional big.
Gobert is traditional.
I would give you 5. Clint Capella.
Capella's traditional, yeah. I don't know if I'd say Vooch is traditional. Kinda. Yeah, look, he's very back to the back. Yeah, I give you that one.
When you 7 foot, you don't have to jump out the gym.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, it's the dumbest thing in the world when people say Vooch has no vertical. Like, he don't need to.
You must be in the chat.
He's there already.
I do not have the chat on intentionally for this. Just because you told me not to.
No, don't nobody. Didn't nobody say it. It's just that's what I always see. You know, Vooch has no vertical, and it's like I'm
gonna turn the chat on because I think I'm forgetting somebody.
He's 7 feet tall. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's also playing against a lot of centers in the NBA right now that are 6'8", bigs in the West. DeAndre Ayton.
Yep, DeAndre Ayton. Maybe that list is bigger.
I give him a traditional big. There's just, you know what it is? Hey, I'll be honest with you, and we got to get into this as well because apparently the Bulls need to trade for every big man under the sun, which is hilarious to me, dog.
Bro, I saw trade Vooch and Kobe White for Anthony Davis. I was like, why would I trade Vooch, who's been available most of the season, for Anthony Davis, who's never played more than 60 games in a thing?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Why? The only person I would absolutely go and
you know why? I blame KJ and I don't even know what it is. It's not KJ and Z no more. What is it? KJ and Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
But Jay Will know what he's talking about, though.
Listen, because realistically, there wasn't much to talk about this week outside of like the play-in game and football. So they had to find topics. So it came up, should the Bulls trade for Anthony Davis? No. Oh, by the way, you want to know why that narrative is out there? I get Podol that. Podol be getting, you know what, though? Podol be, I don't know. I don't know if I can get Podol that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Bulls,
Podol be getting yammed on every chance he get, bro. Podol getting
that's
every
cool,
game,
though.
Dog.
I'm cool with that. You want to know why I'm cool with that?
Hey,
you can't tell me Jakob Podol don't be hooping.
I mean, I wouldn't put Jakob Podol over Valanciunas.
I think you have an easier chance of getting Jakob Podol or even Zach Collins, who I don't know if it like I sent you that clip or I told you to watch that clip. He has elite footwork.
Zach Collins
has the elite footwork.
Is nice. He was on Portland before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he nice.
Was just injured. He was just injured a lot.
He always injured. That's
But Jakob Podol, I would make a move for him at my 4. Yeah. And I would move P. Will to the 3, and I would run DeMar and Zach.
This is what Bulls fans got to understand, right? This is the beginning of a process. This is a beginning of, and you can do a lot here by winning in this playoffs, and that's why I'm breaking this down and I'm saying that this is a huge playoff series for you. Like whether you come out of it with a win or not, showing that you have fight versus the NBA champions puts in the mindset of a lot of people, maybe the second half of the season was the fluke. And they actually did have it figured out, and they just needed time to get the pieces together. Because what you start to do, if you compete that well against the NBA champions, now you have to do it, but now you're talking about guys that probably have emerged as the guy that can be on this team. Now you're talking about next man up. Now you're going into next season not talking about, hey, DeMar DeRozan is the face of this team, but hey, when do we start to transition it possibly into Patrick Williams and Zach LaVine instead of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine? Oh, by the way, DeMar DeRozan's 32. If DeMar starts to take a step back, guess what? He's still DeMar freaking DeRozan, and he's still a really good player. A step back for DeMar DeRozan is what, 18-5? I'll take that. As long as P. Will becomes the 25-plus player or the 18 and what I believe is going to be the best defender in the NBA next season. Fam, I have watched so much tape on P. Will in his time back that he's an elite defender. He is an elite defender. That was random. I saw that. Yo, Power was like, we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying. Dang, that threw me off for a second. It gotta get my bearings a little bit. I have to sit here and I admitted to you. I admitted to the chat. I was wrong about P. Will's potential. I was very pro trade him for Jeremy Grant. And you know what? I'm not just to be a contrarian. Part of me still would, but I can't see he has more upside because Grant has been in the league like 8-9 years now.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant. You're gonna get what you get with Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy
Grant's the dude. Here's the thing: like, there's the NBA. No, not the NBA. The NBA fan has become, to me, what do we want to say? Watered down, or I don't want to say star heavy.
The NBA's become star heavy though.
No, the NBA fan, like, if you're not putting up 25 a night, you're not a good player.
That's not true.
That's just not true. But we always see, what did Pete Kidd say? Hell is officially frozen over. No, hell hasn't frozen over yet. He didn't say Kobe White's the future. That's when we know. That's when we know. Get the shovels out.
I find it funny the moment you tell me to get out the chat. You're in the chat.
Who said what? Somebody said get out the chat.
Oh, Steve-O. Oh, you funny, bro.
Oh, Steve-O funny. But no, like, it cracks me up how people look at a lot of players. Like, I like Jeremy Grant. I don't love Jeremy Grant. That's how you should assess people. Hey, would I give up the world for him? No. Is he a nice player? Yeah. You know why I like Jonas Valanciunas? Because I know I'm going to get 18 and 11. You know why I like Vooch? Because I know I'm going to get 18 and 11. You know why I like it's such a, if you're not at this level, you can't ride this ride. And it's just not the case in the NBA. Like, the NBA really, like, it's changed, but it really hasn't changed. It's just better talent. And everybody feels like you have to go get that dude that's going to give you 25 without looking at, hey, how's that actually work with the team that we have? Because we have a lot of guys that can have the ball movement there. JP, shout out to that comment. You like consistency. I love consistency, but the thing with consistency is you do need a star. You know why I believe in the Memphis Grizzlies? Because they got a bunch of dudes that's consistent.
And they got a star.
And Ja Morant. That's what, when the Bulls get to that point, I will absolutely feel like we are a championship-ready team.
So I saw this by another, I really forgot his name because I don't like stealing takes from people. That's not my thing. I like to give credit where credit is due. But I was on TikTok and there's a sports guy. If y'all know his name, drop it in a comment. Give him his credit. He went back and he said in the last 32 seasons, there's only been 2 teams that have won without a top 5 player. If you don't have a top 5 player, statistics say you're not going to win a chip.
Yes.
What are those two teams?
I mean, how do we quantify top 5?
Um,
Because I would say, would you have called Kawhi Leonard? Like, I would have called Kawhi Leonard a top 5 player the season he was in Toronto, but then he's never really been a top 5 player again. So how do you quantify
he's
top
been
5?
injured since then.
He's been injured since then. You know what I'm saying?
So
Well, he played a year with the Clippers.
But that year that he played with, and he got injured in the, right before the playoffs, or in the playoffs. The year that he won with Toronto, he was a top 5 player.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying, how will we like, are we saying like top 5 in the NBA for the past
top
10
5
years?
in the NBA? I was on the fence about Dirk because Dirk leading into 2011 was not a top 5 player. He was a top 10 player. But when the playoffs started, there was nobody hotter than Dirk. So at that time, Dirk was a top 5
in the last 20 years, you said?
That's 32 years.
Detroit
32
Pistons.
years.
Detroit Pistons.
He got it.
And this, no.
2014, Tim Duncan was not top 5, and Kawhi Leonard was not.
Okay. I get you. Yeah.
They beat the Heat without a top 5.
Yeah.
Without a top 5 player.
That's
crazy to me. I didn't even think of it.
Are we? Hey, like you said, on the fence about Dirk, like because we saying top 5. Dirk was arguably one of the best power forwards to ever play the game, but he was never top 5 in the NBA.
In
so
2011,
I'm with you on that. If that's the case, are we saying that Brian got beaten the championship by 2 non-top 5 teams? I wouldn't put Dirk top 5 in his time. I would never say Dirk was a top 5 player in the NBA in his time.
2011, I would. That man was the best power forward in the game that year. So you can't say all time because that's literally the.
Well, I'm not saying all time. I'm just saying in that span of games.
In that span of games.
In that span of years that you gave, I should say. In the 20, because Dirk played 20 of them. He was a part of almost all of them years.
Well, what I mean by that though is like you could be a top 5 player that year. And when you base it off of that year, he was a top 5 player. There were not 4 other people better. I mean, there weren't 5 other people better than Dirk that year.
Kobe was still cooking, wasn't he?
Kobe was a top 5 player.
Kobe was top 5. Brown was top 5.
Top 5.
Wade outside top 5 at that point.
Wade, I would say Wade was outside of top 5 because he was a shooting guard and Kobe was still existing.
Are you going by position with it?
I go by position with it. I don't like comparing. I don't compare Bron to Kobe.
No, but I would say top 5 is like top 5 players this season. There's 2 top 5 players in the league that are both point guards.
Well, let's think.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying if it's like that, yeah.
But if we break it down, who were the top 5 players in 2011? D Rose,
Derrick Rose, LeBron James.
I got Kobe on that list still. He was still cooking.
Kobe, KD.
I don't got KD on that list yet.
What was KD 2011 like?
Because he didn't make the finals until 2 years later.
I mean, Derrick Rose didn't either.
Well, Derrick Rose never made the final.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if making the finals is the stat that makes him top 5. 2011.
Wasn't we?
God dang.
What?
I used top 5, my boy.
You talking about Dirk?
No, I'm talking about KD. 49% from the field, 38% from 3, 8 rebounds a game, 28 points. I ain't realized he was cooking like this.
No, KD has been
cooking since his second year in the NBA.
No. I don't care what nobody say. When it's all said and done, KD is absolutely one of the best players I've ever. If he gets another ring, I have him up there with LeBron. Because to me, it's not about how many times you make it to the finals. It's about how dominant you are. We can't keep sitting there having this narrative. Oh, LeBron's better, but LeBron can't do half of the stuff that KD does, but KD can do the stuff that he can do.
Would you say that this year? because I keep seeing Muggs say the GOAT debate is dead because he got beat this season the way that they lost with the playoffs as big as they've ever been. I mean, I will say this: 10 teams and you couldn't get a spot, you couldn't get a play in.
LeBron is still the GOAT of the 2010 era. You cannot tell the story of basketball.
Yeah, but we outside the 2010s. I'm saying just like how the GOAT debate go.
No, I know
Brown or Jordan. Really, that's all it is.
You cannot tell the story of basketball without
2011
mentioning
Dwight,
LeBron James from 2010 to 2020. I mean,
No,
2010 to 2020. You can't tell the story of basketball without mentioning his name. So in that context, what he's done, he is absolutely the GOAT of this era. That's how I look at it. He had if we're being honest, this is me putting my bias aside. He had a Michael Jordan run. He just didn't accomplish as much as Michael Jordan did in that run.
Yeah.
He had a 10-year run where he was the man, just like Jordan did. Jordan had a 10-year span. Everything went through Jordan.
Yeah.
You have to get through Jordan. Jordan just capitalized on his more. He has more accolades. He has more accomplishments. That's why he's the better player to me. LeBron has just been freakishly durable.
Yeah.
He has had Karl Malone durability. He's had Karl Malone durability, and so all the stats you see is realistically his longevity, but that doesn't mean he's the better player, because if he's in year 19 and he has not hit 6 titles, 6 finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, 10 scoring titles, stuff like that, accolades matter. That stuff matters.
For me, you know how we do at GOTE, greatest of the era. Because it's also like I think Jordan would be amazing today, but I also have to quantify it with there's a lot of other amazing people. How will we look at Jordan? Will we still look at him as the greatest player? Or would there be that same debate that we create about every great player that's a top? Is he the best player in the league right now? Like we had the conversation last time. The reason Jordan was great because there was no one close to his level. Can we say that LeBron James, skill-wise, talent-wise, player-wise, is close to his level? I can say that.
I can say skill-wise, talent-wise.
Win-wise, you can't, right? You just can't. Like there's no stat that's gonna compete that Bron has with 6-0 in the playoffs and never going to a game 7.
The one thing I would say as a counter argument, and not even a counter argument, just a statement of fact. Michael Jordan at 40, that's 4 years older than LeBron now, or 3 years older than LeBron now, was a top 5 shooting guard in the league, played 82 games at 40.
Yeah.
I want you to put that into perspective. Top 5 shooting guard at 40. 2002, 2003, look up Kobe's numbers. Look up Vince Carter's numbers. Look up Ray Allen's numbers.
Yep.
Look up Paul Pierce's numbers.
Yep.
Look up all those forwards and guards. Yeah, but forwards and guards. Look up all those numbers and look at your Michael Jordan's in that mix at 40.
Yeah.
Those are young cats, younger legs. Kobe's coming off a 3-peat, all that stuff. Michael Jordan would have still been Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan would have been better now than he was then. Simply because
you can't touch nobody.
Well, I also look at it like this. We always look at his scoring output. We always look at the MVP and stuff like that. We never mention the fact that he's one of the only guards to get defensive player of the year. We don't talk about the triple crown he got. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about the competition. He beat out Hakeem and all of these other defensive juggernauts.
Yeah.
Because he locked down. Michael Jordan is 3rd on the list all time of steals.
Well, that's
effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I say like for today, you would have to have, for somebody to be Jordan, you would have to average 40. Mike might have been able to average 40. Mike probably would have been able to average 40.
Harden averaged 35.
Mike probably would have been able to average 40.
Mike averaged 37 without shooting threes in a league where you got clothesline going to the hole. You can sit there and say, "Oh, wasn't that tough?" It
Hey,
was.
hey, the fact that Muggs be like, there's no way you could average 40 in today's NBA. I'm like, they was pretty close, dog. Like, and at the same time, like you say, just be like, I don't know. I wouldn't put James Harden top 5 at any list. And like, wait a minute, hold on now. But I
The
don't know.
part that gets me
Hey,
with
I will say this though. I will say this to your argument. Dirk wasn't top 5. Dirk wasn't the best power forward in the league that year either.
okay, I can live with that. Hey, listen, I was on the fence about it.
That K Love jump was crazy.
I was on the fence about it.
That was
but
K Love's 4th year, 26 points, 13 rebounds a game.
I want to put this into perspective for people, like the level of dominance, because like I know recency bias. We want to move on from Mike and stuff like that. I get it. I'm all for it. I honestly feel like we should just appreciate Mike for who he was, what he's done for the game and stuff like that, and just celebrate the players we have now. I'm really trying to move forward from it. But the disrespect got to stop. Michael Jordan played 5 seasons less than LeBron and has over 400 more steals than LeBron.
Yeah, no, listen, this is the thing, right? And
what can you do about somebody who can jump out the gym, shoot 50% from the field, will bust your behind from any spot on the court, and bust your behind on defense?
Yeah.
He has 300 more steals than Scottie Pippen.
But see, for me, the part that people don't think about is like, and it's like I said, like, I'm not saying like he would have to do what we think he could do to still be that level player here. He would have to average 40 while still being the best defender in the NBA, and he was. If he could do that, he's still the unquestioned GOAT in today's NBA, and there's a lot of people that absolutely would give him that. But that would also set the standard for a lot of these guys to try and meet what he's doing. And so you probably would see LeBron for more of his career doing what we saw him do this year, where he was like, get the heck out of my way. I'm going to get to the bucket, and I'm going to play great defense, and I'm going to do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the only reason I disagree with that, dog, is because Mike then would have been the same Mike now. If all Mike did was do the exact same thing he did in the 90s, now, the exact same thing, exact same averages, he'd still be the GOAT. He doesn't have to average 40. You know how many people have averaged 30 in NBA history? Like his career average is 30.
Right.
I did it for
it's about like
hotel my entire career, 30.
But what created it though? What created it was there was nobody that could do anything close to that.
I disagree.
Who in the 90s was close to Jordan?
Dog, in the Mike is a freak athlete.
Yep.
I give you that. Mike has tenacity out of his rim. But if you remove Michael Jordan from the conversation, all of a sudden Clyde Drexler looks really darn good.
But think about that.
You remove Michael Jordan from the conversation.
Think about that. What you just said. If you remove Jordan from the conversation, all these other dudes now look like they're really great.
No. The storyline behind them changes.
I agree with
what they did on the court. Like that's the part. That's the Jordan effect, and it's just the time that he hit. He hit at a time where media was going up. NBA wanted to rebrand. NBA, like a lot of stuff happened for Jordan to like really be the mythic person we see now. But if you like, when I say remove him, like just remove your bias and just look at what these other players did. There were a lot of players in that league who were doing some great things. But the only reason why we don't talk about them is because they ain't got 6 rings, they ain't got 10 scoring titles.
No, the only reason I don't talk about them is because there's a lot of the only reason I don't talk about him is because Michael Jordan made sure that they were nowhere near him. Michael Jordan made sure when I match up against you, you're going to know I'm Michael Jordan, and you're going to know that I'm way better than you'll ever be in your basketball career. When Michael Jordan matched up against Clyde Drexler, what did he average?
35.
He made sure Clyde knew you were nice, but you will never be me. That's the difference in that era of basketball. Mike separated himself far and above the rest of any competition. In any game that anybody was even talking about, hey, this dude could be the Jordan stopper. He could be the next Jordan. He could be. Michael Jordan made a point to prove, who's y'all stopper? Him? Or You? Oh, you stupid. They shouldn't have gave you that nickname. You messed your whole career up right now. Like, that's the difference, right? And so in today's day, we still got guys that do that, but they got back. There's a lot of players now that can get you back. Like Jordan was getting Clyde. Clyde couldn't really get Mike back because Mike was also the best defender. Kevin Durant can get Giannis, but guess what? When he run down on the other end and Giannis hits you with the bump, turn around, one hand jam in your face, I got you right back. And so now that debate is created. Now the debate of is Giannis me and my brother got it, right? I said, I think Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA, but I
By
can make
far.
an argument why Giannis is.
By far, he's the best player. It's not even close.
But this is the thing. I don't think it's by far. I can absolutely make a argument why Giannis is. If Kevin Durant can score at every level. Giannis can score not at every level, but he's getting the mid-range to a point where it's getting scary. The three ball ain't there. Underneath the bucket, he's unstoppable. And guess what? If I need a stop, I want Giannis Antetokounmpo on my team, not Kevin Durant.
They legitly gave Giannis the last 6 foul calls. No. Last 3 or 4 foul calls where all he did was lower his shoulder and truck people. And I'm telling you this right now. It was a sham. I'm a Giannis fan. I like Giannis. I like what he brings to the game. I like his mentality. I like the fact that he's gotten better every single year. And I've been on record saying, out of everyone, he has the ultimate chance of being the GOAT, in my opinion, because he's come up in a very unique way. Wasn't highly drafted or didn't have a high expectation at first. Yeah. And look at how his career has he's hit almost. Wasn't he most improved? Wasn't he defensive player? Like he has a real opportunity to hit every accolade on his way up to being the GOAT. To me, that just goes to show you how hard of a worker he is. So I absolutely love that. But ain't no way in hell he better than the Kevin Durant.
Listen,
you about to make me get on my.
It's not. Listen, but here's the thing.
Let me tell you something.
I can create an argument.
Hold on, Patrick. Let me tell you something, Mr. Designer. There is no way that you can put him. It's unequivocal. It's like I can't hit the high pitch, Stephen A. Like you can't do it.
Here's the thing. For you, I can't, but I can absolutely create an argument, seeing as how Giannis is still getting buckets and he's averaging more rebounds and he's playing better defense. So what I'm saying is not to say I think Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA, but there's an argument for Giannis. I think Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA, but at 37 years old, I can make an argument for LeBron at what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so for me, I look at stuff like that and I say, in today's day and age, it's because
LeBron tested. I'm sorry.
In today's day and age, it's because of how good these players are that there's conversation there. And that's why you'll never have a player like Jordan again, because there's no player, like even in today's day and age, like say Jordan is going at it with somebody. You got to show me that you're going to go at it versus LeBron and prove to him and dominate him to the point that guess what? Because Jordan going to pick up LeBron. Like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like Jordan absolutely would pick up LeBron. You know why? You know why?
No,
because of the story. Because he wants to prove it. Because Jordan said it himself. It was my mission to prove that I will destroy you. And because LeBron was in the argument, Jordan would be like, yeah, let's go.
Jordan would stick him just like Kobe stuck LeBron. Yeah. I would give you that. I am going to also say that Jordan was smart enough to know, hey, I can't stick LeBron and score 30, so Scottie got to do it. Just like Jordan couldn't stick Kobe straight up. Scottie stuck him. Like Jordan was great defensively, but he has some matchups where he got absolutely cooked.
I agree with you, but what
Magic
I'm saying,
Magic cooked Mike. I don't care what nobody say. Magic was cooking Mike.
They switched Scottie on.
I agree. Was 5 inches taller with a much longer wingspan.
Yeah.
For Magic, it wasn't about scoring. I'm taking you out, please. I'm taking you out this game. Magic was smart.
But this is the thing. I agree with you, but it's all about that perception of it right there. I don't care if I stick you for it's with Alex Caruso, right? Alex Caruso sticking PG. Alex Caruso didn't stick PG the whole game, but what's the stat that pops up on the screen? When Alex Caruso is sticking Paul George shoots 27%. Right? It's all about the narrative. That's what I'm saying. Like in today's day and age, it would all be about, I want you to know that when I'm on you, you're gonna have a bad day. And it's all about the mental with it. So for me, right, like it's in today's day and age, Jordan got to do that versus LeBron. Jordan got to do that versus KD. Jordan got to do, and KD is KD. But and that's the point, right? You do that versus KD, especially in today's NBA, KD's still gonna get you. Like KD in the 90s is gonna get you. Muck sit there and talk about my favorite thing, right? Like I can create a debate for like, and this is kind of what I want to get into as well, because Draymond brought up a whole new dynamic into this, you dig, on his podcast. Shout out to Draymond Green. I'm getting sick of all these players and current coaches jumping in doing podcasts now. By the way, hit that like button if you're in here, man. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We don't want y'all to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. And we were previewing the Bulls Bucks. We'll get back into that as well.
You're not going to get the whole NBA first take where they spend 20 hours like drilling into the same points. You ever notice some of those guys literally go from set to set giving the same take 3-4 times in a day?
I mean, they keep asking you the same question, and my take's not going to change on it.
Dog, I would hate that. That would be like the bane of my existence. I'd be like, didn't y'all watch the last one? Ask me a different question. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Dog, I would sit there. I would roast you to high hell. You did that to me.
I mean, that's
I'd be like, Pat, you just asked me that question 15 minutes ago, dog.
That's why you'll never work at ESPN. Hey, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But here's the interesting thing, right? With where the NBA is going and how it's moving in this direction. There's so much talent on the court now that now debates can be created. And that's not a bad thing. For some of the old heads, it's like, listen, go watch baseball if you want to argue about it. Like, I love where the NBA is at right now. I love that there's talent on everything. This is what David Stern wanted. Y'all understand that, right? He wanted a star in every market. There's a star in every market. Guess what? Detroit sucks. Cade's pretty good. Charlotte kind of sucked too. I ain't gonna lie to you. They be getting worked out. They got worked out. That's disrespectful how they got beat. Hey, guess what? LaMelo's there. You know what I'm saying? There's David Stern's dream.
LaMelo was not the star on that team to me.
Here's the thing. He need to be. That's the problem. You need somebody. You need to put people around LaMelo the way that you need to put people around Ben Simmons. LaMelo also just can shoot.
You need to
get him somebody that can go get a bucket. Don't get him doggone. We thought that was Miles Bridges. Hey, he's showing you that it ain't.
Miles Bridges needs to take a leap, but I think he got it.
We'll see. Hey, he'll have the entire offseason to work on it. But
1, 2, 3.
Listen. 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
There we go.
But no, like, so Draymond Green came out and said the 73-9 Warriors team is the greatest team ever assembled. Of course, here come the Jordan fans, ready to defend the Bulls to the depths. And I'm confused because like that team didn't win a championship. But I'm confused by that mostly. It's like, hey man, like, you know, y'all had a team that was 73-9, and then y'all added Kevin Durant to that. That might be the greatest team ever assembled there. And he did say that, but here's the question, right? Like,
it's disrespectful for him. You know what? I cannot disagree with his take because it's his personal experience. He is a professional athlete. But I have a very, very strong argument as to not why only that only exists in his mind, and how statistically it's just not true. I have very strong facts to support.
Hey, I got an easy argument. The 73-9 one is easy. Could that Cleveland Cavaliers team have beat the 72-10 Bulls?
No. No.
No. You think Brown would have been screaming Cleveland versus Jordan?
Hey, Jordan closing you out. Game 5, baby. Let's get this over with. We up 3-1. Hey, listen, on God, Jordan would have been like, hey, listen, 3-1. We're going to slow this game down. I'm getting to the
Hey,
foul line.
listen,
We are going home.
listen.
Okay, listen, we are going home.
The
Give me my
greatest
cigar. I
team.
want my Ferrari in the parking lot. We are going home.
Hey,
Nah, man. Nah,
the
I
greatest
love Draymond. I
team
really do. But
ever
he's tweaking.
assembled, bro. I don't even think, and this is the thing. Like, I like the argument for the Warriors the year after that is a much more sound argument, right? Because for me, like, I don't care who it is. Like, Kevin Durant's probably getting Scotty in foul trouble. That's the part nobody ever thinks about. Like, there's fouls in the NBA. Like, Scottie Pippen plays great defense. Scottie Pippen's an excellent defender, but Kevin Durant is absolutely probably going to get Scottie Pippen in foul trouble.
There's no probably. You know how we can actually determine how much of a matchup this would have been? Like we can put statistics up there that show how Scotty performed versus people of a similar caliber of Kevin Durant. You know where I'm going with this?
I don't.
Really? So I got you.
Unless you're going with Hakeem.
Nope. So I gotta make sure I'm on point with this. I looked this up at one point. But did you know, like, if you take a trip down memory lane, who's the closest legend to Kevin Durant?
Closest legend to Kevin Durant, like in size or skill set?
Yeah.
I can't even think about it as think of anybody that played similarly to Kevin Durant like that.
Larry Bird.
Nah.
6'9". Hey, hold on. Walk with me.
Hey, nah.
6'9", 6'10".
Nah.
Larry Bird would be now. Kevin Durant's better in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, but Larry Bird is
It's a big difference between 6'9" and 7 foot, my boy.
So hold on. So are you saying Kevin Durant is better than Larry Bird?
Yeah.
All right. So check this out. Larry Bird averaged 26 points a game, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds against Scottie Pippen.
Was Scotty playing him?
Yes, head up.
Also, which year? Because Larry didn't play that deep into the 90s. Scotty getting good also really coincides with finals.
The last time Larry put up 30 points on Scotty was in 91.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen's best physical years were between 91 and 95 because he had back injuries.
Because he had back injuries after that.
So while he was on the decline,
best physically healthy year. Well, what did he do? I don't know.
While he was on the decline, Scotty was on was on the incline, and he still gave him 30.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that KD wouldn't torch Scottie Pippen? Crazy. Kobe torched Scottie Pippen, and Kobe is not nowhere near.
The argument that nobody brings in, right, for me is this is the difference. What era is it? And that does make a difference, because if it's the era where Scottie Pippen can control the direction you can go by hand checking you, Scotty is absolute. KD's still gonna be KD, but the difference is Scotty absolutely is 10 times stronger.
I still got KD
than Kevin Durant is. Like, you're not just gonna be able to move. Like, you're gonna get your shot off, but you're gonna be pulling it from 30.
The one thing I think LeBron with the physicality would still be LeBron. He won't be 30 points a game, LeBron. He'd still be a pretty dominant figure. I think
mentality is just different. Like,
I think LeBron
like in the 90s, LeBron gonna be like, all right, let me go downhill.
Like, people keep forgetting LeBron was drafted in 03. Like, LeBron would have been all right.
LeBron was in that area. LeBron averaged what did we say the other day? 28?
He averaged like 30 in like 05.
Something like that. Like 31. 31 in a tough era.
Like when Rashad when Wallace, what was his name? Rasheed Wallace was like, yeah, it would have been tougher. No, the heck it wasn't. LeBron was dogging you. What are you talking about? LeBron, like you got to give credit where credit is due. LeBron has been that guy for a while.
LeBron played in it, so yeah.
Yeah, so I like that LeBron would have been able to do that. Believe it or not, Dennis Rodman and LeBron have played against each other. They have played against each other.
No.
I think
Rodman's
so.
last year on the Lakers was 02.
You think so?
I think so.
When did Rodman retire?
I think 02.
Like a lot of people who we say he wouldn't have gone up against, LeBron has played.
I mean, yeah, but he played old versions of them. But also, was Rodman guarding them? You know what I'm saying? Rodman was probably guarding Zadronis Ilgauskas at that point if he was even in the game.
LeBron, I mean, yeah, you're right. He retired in
02,
2000.
right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman would have been able to slow him down. He wouldn't have been able to stop LeBron.
Wouldn't have been able to slow who down? Kevin Durant?
He would have been able to slow LeBron down, but he wouldn't have been able to stop him. Like I'm all for having.
You know what? Dennis
respect
is a whole different aspect that people don't bring into it, right? Like Dennis didn't beat you just off of physicality and like he was a physical specimen, but he didn't have the size to just physically beat you. Dennis beat you because he annoyed the heck out of you. He was always in your head, and he never really said nothing. Dennis beat you by annoying the mess out of you, and also I'm a better rebounder than you. Also, I can get those defensive stops on you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what proof do we have that Dennis Rodman would have stopped Bron? Name any forward.
How did Brian get into this?
Because we held, like, here's the thing. We put Dennis Rodman on this pedestal, and the reason he's on this pedestal was not because he was just this ultimate defensive clown. He was just your muck it up utility guy who got a bunch of boards and knew to get it back out.
He was
But
a clown.
he wasn't like your ultimate defensive clown. All I want to say is this: what proof do we have that he will lock down a superstar talent? I mean, lock down the way that we say it.
Well, I think the difference is even if Brian gets past Dennis, you got to run into Scotty. But again, are we playing today's rules or are we playing the 90s? That's the part nobody talk about.
Because if we play in the 90s,
in the 90s, you got to stay on your man.
If we play in the 90s rules, guess what? You got to stay on your man. LeBron is getting past Dennis Rodman. And if we're playing 90s rules, that shoulder hurts a whole lot when it's in your chin. LeBron is a freak of nature.
Like, shoulder hurt a lot when it's in your chin, but I mean, it ain't like he ain't getting it back on the other end too.
That's cool.
We hit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
we can hit, but let's not make it seem like LeBron ain't like
comparison
250 trucking people. Like
the comparison of eras for me is always tough, right? And that's why, like, even Draymond bringing it up, like the 73-9 team is the greatest team ever assembled. Like, I get you a part of that. I get you won a lot of those games, but you wasn't beating the 72-10 Bulls. Also, what rules we playing against, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part, and that's why I don't like when people compare different things. This is the greatest team ever assembled that lost. like what? Like that lost. This is the greatest team ever assembled. That, like, so, like, I look at it. For me, I look at it in moments in time.
No.
The 90s Bulls was a moment in time. Could they beat a lot of the teams in the NBA today? Heck yeah. But do I think it's because Scottie Pippen was the greatest defender of all time? Do I think it's because Dennis Rodman will be able to lock everybody down? No. You know, I think that because Michael Freak and Jeffrey Jordan played on the team. I don't care about none of these other dudes. I don't. This is the greatest team ever assembled. You know why y'all the greatest team? You even have an argument for that? And it shouldn't be your 73-9 team. It should be your team next year. You want to know why? Because Kevin Durant played on your freaking team. It's got nothing to do with nothing else. You know why the triangle offense works? Because when the triangle offense don't work, I got Michael Jeffrey Jordan. You want to know when the triangle offense didn't work? When you had Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Like, It has it like the other pieces all play into that when we're talking about greatest team ever assembled, but it comes down to Jordan and Durant. What is Jordan gonna do versus the defense that's on him? What is Durant gonna do versus the defense on him? Okay, sounds good. Okay, they're gonna kill, he's gonna kill. Who's gonna kill more? And who's going to be now? The one thing that I will say with a lot of these teams that nobody talks about, they're going to be high scoring games. Who's going to have the best chance to get the stop? I can't hear a word you saying right now, my boy. I didn't even know you was talking. For me, that's what it comes down to. Who's going to have the best chance to get the stop? You know, the book like the boy. I don't know, dog. What happened to the mic? Kids up out of here. hey, the ghost of Jordan said, "Get him out of here." He ain't even dead. Definitely can't hear nothing. Go out and try to come back in. Curry is from another. What are you? Oh, dog. That's funny, man. That's funny. Let's see if we can get him back in here, man. But no, dog. Like for me, it's about the other players matter. How's you know, Mike's gonna guard Clay. How's that gonna go? Clay's probably not gonna score as much. Okay. Scotty's gonna guard KD. Okay. Like for me, right? Like if we being 100% honest, the 73-9 team don't have a shot. The 73-9 team doesn't have a shot to beat the 72-10 Bulls. Because who we talking about? We talking about Steph Curry back then? Or we talk about Steph Curry today? Again, rules matter. This is why I don't even like having these debates with these arguments and stuff like that.
Yo,
I got you.
We good?
That was random.
Okay.
The
All right.
restream be hating. Yeah, see,
Hey, Roy, back at it again with the white vans.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, like to me, the 73-9 team doesn't have a snowball's chance to beat the 72-10 Bulls. Jordan's guarding Clay. Dre got Rodman. They gonna just piss each other off the whole game. Hey, listen, they probably both getting ejected if we being honest.
Yeah, no.
hey, opening tip, double technicals, get them out of here. What?
I keep saying this and I'll scream this to the mountaintops. And it's probably something I still die alone on. The 73-9 team weren't the best team. They just hit at the right time. We had never seen, you know what the 73-9 team was like? It's like having Ray Allen and Reggie Miller on the same team. That's the level of talent they had on the team. And they just hit at the right time, had the right scheme. But once teams got hip to what they were doing, which was closer to the end of the season, them games was a lot closer than people think. And the records in the league were a lot closer. The Spurs still won 67 games.
Yeah.
They won 6 more games than the Spurs. And Pop rested people at the end of that season. I'm not discrediting what they accomplished.
You want to know what that's crazy. You want to know how that Spurs game ended at the end of the season versus the Golden State Warriors? Is this
how
real?
did it end?
79-87.
Very defensive game. Very defensive game.
Was it defensive or did everybody just suck that day?
I'm not gonna take it away from
nobody played. Okay.
Nobody played?
Oh no, they did play. No, Steph, Clay, and Dre all played.
So how many minutes did the Spurs play? Look at the minutes. How many minutes did they play?
They all played. Actually, no. They wasn't even playing nobody. Tim Duncan played 8 minutes.
He rested players.
Manu played 18, which is normal for Manu.
He was resting players. I'm telling you all right now, the
Kawhi
Spurs
played
had a chance.
38.
The Spurs had a chance to beat the Bulls record. They had a couple injuries here and there and stuff like that. They had a chance. They really had a chance. And if they would have beat the Warriors, they would have been 68 and whatever the rest of that is, 68-24, whatever. It's
That's
not
crazy.
like it's great, but it's not as astronomical as people are making it seem. It's definitely still a hard feat. But it don't mean nothing without the ring, in my opinion. And it's not as if
You
like
don't
when the
even have an
Bulls went
argument
72
without
and 10, when the Bulls went 72 and 10, I think the next team had like 58 wins or 62 wins. They had 10 games over.
I think
We
the
can look
thing
that
is
up.
you don't even have the argument in that era of basketball or in that with that team without the ring. Because the team that beat you in 7 games definitely couldn't beat the Bulls. To me, like that, there's not even an argument there for me.
When
The Kevin Durant team is different. You know why? Because Kevin Durant's on that team.
When the Bulls went 72 and 10, the next closest team was the Supersonics at 64 and 18. And the Orlando Magic went 60 and 22.
Yeah, the Bulls beating everybody. Yeah, I'm saying the Bulls are just beating everybody. I don't know, dog. It's weird to me, man. It's weird to me. It's a weird argument to me to put the team that didn't win above the team that did, and the team that didn't have the roster to me that would match up. Like, I mean, listen, shout out to them, but are we really saying that? Where's the box score here? That's not what I'm looking for.
The Spurs won 67 games. They won 67 and 15. Ironically, guess what the Warriors record were the season before?
So we saying that
67 and 15.
Leandro Barbosa, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Bogut, Ian Clark, Steph Curry, Festus Ezeli, Draymond, Iggy, Sean Livingston, Kevon Looney, James McAdoo, Brandon Rush, Maurice Spates, Jason Thompson, Klay Thompson, and Anderson Varejao is the best team ever assembled.
No, it's not. It's not.
Dog, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will say this. He should have changed his debate. He should have changed his debate to we had 3 superstars and nobody else. That's why this is the best team ever assembled.
And you know what I would have said? I would have said no, because Kobe and Shaq had 2 superstars and nobody else.
Hey, listen. No. This looked like that. When you looking at the numbers I'm looking at right here, this looked like that.
If the Lakers had a 3rd superstar, they wouldn't have lost to the Spurs. Everybody forgets they won a 3-peat. They lost to the Spurs that 4th season. Then they get back to the finals to lose to Detroit. That's what happened. It didn't happen like, oh, we win 3 and we lose to the Pistons. No, they lost to the Spurs first.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody forgets that.
But I think you know what? I think that team still would have lost because you couldn't have had a 3rd superstar on that team. Because of the powerhouses that were on that team, because of the egos. Like there's a lot of stuff like on the court, yeah, they dominant. But there's so much stuff behind the scenes that like Kobe and Shaq were personally trying to work through. Imagine adding a 3rd superstar into that. They probably wouldn't. I'm gonna be real with you. They probably would have never won a championship. It'd have been too much. You had to have those 2 egos aligned with the same goal.
My only argument for Kobe having been in the GOAT conversation that no one can really can really like negate is Kobe did not play with nearly as much talent as LeBron, Steph, KD, or even Shaq. Kobe has beat more 50-win teams. Karl Malone was not a superstar when he went to the Lakers. Let's cut it out, Prodigy. Be real. That's like saying right now Blake Griffin is a superstar on the Nets. Kobe didn't have an all-star
Still getting
point
busy,
guard.
though.
No, he still was averaging like 18 points, 18 and 14 points. Don't get me wrong. Karl Malone was still Karl Malone, but he was a role player. Gary Payton was a role player. He was a role player. Call a spade a spade. Don't
listen. This is all I'm. Oh no, he wasn't averaging 18. Ooh,
what did he average?
13.
Yeah, so Karl Malone wasn't the same Karl Malone.
Yeah, no. I thought he was averaging more too. Maybe he had a stretch where he was averaging something. I thought he was averaging more than that too. 13 and 8.
And the one thing I will say is, people absolutely wanted to play with Kobe. They couldn't afford to pay him.
Yeah.
And Kobe absolutely was almost in a Bulls jersey. Kobe also already had
the Bulls jersey. That's the one that said, God, good Lord.
That deal was almost done. Hey, y'all don't realize Kobe was almost in the Bulls jersey.
That was legit. You know why? Hey, could you imagine? You know why he wanted to do it.
He wanted to do what LeBron is doing to him.
No, he wanted to make people forget about Michael.
I honestly think he wanted to do it to be closer to Mike.
Maybe. But I also feel like he wanted to do what he did with Mike or in Mike City. And have that over Mike. Be like, hey, I won these rings over here too, Mike. Hey, stop playing with me, Mike. I won these rings over here too. You know what? And this is the tough part about it, right? But yeah, hey, Steve-O, yeah, you just had to keep Lou all day. Fan, I'll never understand that argument. I'll never understand. And you know why? This is because even you've brought this argument here, right?
They would have gut the team too much, dog. I'm sorry.
But kid, look at me.
They have to trade away picks too, and they wouldn't have got D Rose.
You wouldn't have got D Rose anyway. I'm gonna tell you this why. You might have got D Rose anyway, actually, because they rigged that. They absolutely rigged that. We won like 41 games that year. We got the first pick in the draft. We won 41 games. Or like 30, 37. I don't remember how much it was. I know we were definitely shouldn't have had that pick. Kid, this is the thing though. The teams that we hail Kobe for winning with, you'd have just built a team like that there. And guess what? It's Chicago, and you could have been like, we got Kobe. And we ain't paying nobody else. Somebody else want to come play with Kobe?
I love this comment. You want to know why I love this comment? You want to know why I love this comment?
Because it's a good joke.
It's a great joke. But you want to know why I love it even more?
Why?
He has more assists than D-Wade, Michael Jordan, Klay Thompson. He has the most assists out of any two guard ever. He's the only two guard in the 36-6 club. 36-5 club, I think. He has over 6,000 assists, I believe. 6,000 to 5,000. He has the most assists for a two guard ever.
I mean,
but he didn't pass.
I mean,
you know who don't pass? DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan don't pass.
This is the thing. But you know what? Kobe absolutely played like that. Like Kobe passed. But let's be real. When did Kobe pass?
Let's be real.
Hey, when they set that fourth man over, and now it just looks bad if you don't pass.
Let's be real.
when it's 4-on-1 and they set that fourth man over to him, and now it's like, well, there's literally 4 people open. I gotta give somebody the ball.
All I gotta say is,
he got a lot of assists.
That's a good joke, by the way.
Hey, it's a good joke.
I'm trying not to give you no credit by not looking up at you. You know,
he got a lot of assists, dog. But let's be real. We know when Kobe was passing that mug up. Like,
hey, by the way, you can't pass to yourself, dog. It's not a self-assist. There's no stat for that.
He passed 3,000 of those to himself. That would be crazy if you could, though. You know how many people would just be dunking? You know how many assists Vince Carter would have? Oh, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. As y'all can see, we're very passionate about our Chicago Bulls here, man. So we appreciate y'all for pulling up and showing love. Man, that guy, that fam, it was. I love that we actually almost spent no time on actually breaking down the 73-9 team being the greatest team of all time, because it was such just a wild statement to me. Even Steph, hey, when he said it, even Steph was like, the team that won the championship? We just forgetting about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, even Steph, he was like, I concur. But like, Kevin Durant's back. I love that we almost, like, we spent time on it, but almost spent no time on it. Hey, we want to get into this, man. We also want to break down a little bit more of the playoffs. We got the play-in tonight as well, how big that's going to be. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us and showing love, man. Like I said, hit that like button. And, man, I can't wait for this live call on Sunday, man.
I'm gonna be
It's
there
gonna be,
live
I think it's
live
going to
on
be me,
location.
you, and Steph here.
Live on location, man. Get it ready. I don't want my chair to be falling either. I
We'll
bring
see.
my own chair if I got to.
BYOC.
I bring my own
BYOC,
chair if I
man.
got to.
No,
but real quick, because I have to, I wanted to come in and support, but your boy's technically still at work. So I'm going to set you up with this real quick, because I know you titled this as a Bulls breakdown. I know you spent some time talking about it. What do you think? How do you think the return of Lopez, not Lopez, you know what I'm talking about? The center.
Brooke Lopez.
Brooke Lopez. Duh. I was thinking about his brother with the hair.
Went straight to Robin.
How do you think that impacts it? Because my take on it is this: Brooke Lopez clogs that paint and makes it so much harder for Vooch. And because we don't have a big enough presence down there, Vooch is not going to have the type of showing, may not have the showing that we would like him to have. And it has nothing to do with Vooch being a bad player. It has everything to do with the Bucks being tall, long, and athletic. At the very least, you have Giannis as athletic, tall, long. You have Brooke Lopez, who was just a presence, tall and long, right? And so that helped defense and stuff like that. How do you think that's going to impact Vooch? And at the same time, what do you think you can do to counteract that? So I'm gonna throw that oop to you, my brother. I'm gonna be listening in. But I want to see. I know you can talk like 15 minutes on that one. So I'm
for sure.
I'm gonna give you that right there.
I love Roy's comment. He said we just gonna see kids' hairline in the next live with the broke chair. Slowly sinking. Nah, man. Appreciate
Pat,
you. Right.
Come on, dog.
Hey, don't be mad at me. I was excited.
I shouldn't be looking like Ringo right here, my G. What's up?
Wow.
Ringo's short. Come on now. It's not. Oh, that was kind of my fault, Steph.
All right,
Like,
all right. You know what? I got it. I got it. Get him out of here. But oh, he's back. All right, my boy. Oh man. No, but I mean, listen, because it's a big game coming up for us, right? Like, and like he said, Brooke Lopez means a lot to this team. Brooke Lopez means a lot to this Bucks team in the sense that not only is he big, not only can he protect the paint, he also can step outside and knock down the three ball at a high clip. He also can, you know what I'm saying, back you down in the basket and hit that little turnaround that Vooch be talking about hitting all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be indicative of how the series is going to go with how dominant he's able to be. And the reason I say this is, in series like this, for the Bulls to be able to beat this team, you have to pull Brooke Lopez out of the paint. How do you do that? You have to pull Brooke Lopez out of the paint by shooting the ball well. And it has to be Vooch. That's the tough part, right? That's the part of this that is kind of scary with this team, right? Because we haven't seen Vooch have those games consistently where he shot the three ball at a high clip. We saw him kind of, and the thing is too, it's like he gets it going when he's shooting the three ball at a high clip, when he's under the bucket making those easy plays, and he's not going to have that opportunity. So you have to there's such an inverse game plan that has to be put in place here, right? Like you have to kick the ball out to the corner, knock down that shot. That opens up the paint. By opening up the paint, you give Vooch more one-on-one opportunities. By giving Vooch more one-on-one opportunities, Vooch is able to get underneath, knock in some of those floaters, knock in some of those putbacks. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets his confidence going, and now he's able to move out to the corner and able to knock down the three ball in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that has to go into it for it to be successful. There's a lot that has to get done for it to be successful. There's a lot that this Bulls team has to do for it to be successful on a consistent basis. And I think that the problem there is, right, like, there's so many ifs here where the Bucks just have answers. There's so many ifs on this being successful where the Bucks just have answers. You know what I'm saying? For the Bulls to be successful, the Bulls will be successful if Vooch is able to get the job done. The Bulls will be successful if Vooch is able to get the job done. The Bulls will be successful if Kobe White's able to knock down a three. The Bulls will be successful if DeMar DeRozan's able to get through the lane, right? For the Bucks, I know what Giannis is going to do. I know what Drew Holiday can do. I know what Brook Lopez brings to the table. I know how they play their game. You know what I'm saying? They have built that up. They have built that team up. They have built up that repertoire. They understand what they need to do on the offensive end. They understand what they need to do on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything can change in the playoffs. Like, I don't want the change to be like, hey, Giannis blew his knee out. Like that's something that I can't get on board on. But because I see that, right? Like, oh, the only way that the Bulls are gonna win is if Giannis blows his knee out, or if Giannis like I would take Giannis out. Like that's just first off, it's poor sportsmanship. Second off, it's just a bad take. Because it's not a cakewalk if Giannis sitting there. It makes it a better series, but it's not a cakewalk if Giannis sitting there. If I'm not mistaken, didn't we lose the game this season without Giannis there? You know what I'm saying? But Brook Lopez does a lot for this team on that offensive end and on that defensive end. And guess what? When Brook goes out, who comes back in? Bobby Portis. And guess what? If Bobby Portis and Brook are out, guess who's in there? Giannis. There's a lot of answers on this team where for me with the Bulls, there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of maybes. There's a lot of, hey, we might be able to get this done. And listen, I see a path where the Bulls can win, but it starts with them doing what they did the last two games. I said this. The Bulls shot really well those last two games, and it really impacted how they were going to be able to win the game. It really impacted what they were going to be able to do to come out of that game. Even in a loss, right? Like essentially in that Charlotte game, they were just like, we're not going to play defense. We're not going to play. We don't care. Hey, let them do what they want. Shoot 90%. They're going to shoot 90%. But the biggest key for the Bulls in this whole scenario is going to be where on the floor does Kobe White have his impact? Or Io? Or P. Will? And where would it be better for you to have that impact, right? Is it better for P. Will to have impact on the offensive end or on the defensive end? This is a real question. Is it better for P. Will to have impact on the offensive end or on the defensive end? You're going to put P. Will on Giannis. But if P. Will doesn't have as big an impact on the defensive end, or doesn't have as big a defense on the offensive end because he's playing good defense on Giannis, can they still beat you? Yeah. Drew Holiday has a day. Chris Middleton has a day. Brook Lopez has a day. Bobby Portis has a day. There's a lot of names there. Can they still beat you? But if P. Will has that same impact on the offensive end that he had versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now he's giving you maybe not 35, let's say 25. And he's attacking the paint, and they have to do more, and they're collapsing down, and he's kicking out, and people are knocking down shots. If he has that kind of impact, how does that change what the Bucks are going to do? How does that change how effective the Bucks are going to be? Because now, essentially, you've capped off a defense or a guy that's going to score 25 to 35 points with another guy that can score 25 to 35 points, and you're adding that in with Zach LaVine, who can do it, and you're adding that in with DeMar DeRozan, who can do it. And you're adding that in with Vooch, right? And maybe Vooch is a guy that's stepping out and knocking down shots. It's crazy to say, but like for me, the bigger impact on this team, like I feel like we still give him the Kawhi Leonard comparison, right? We still give him the Kawhi Leonard comparison. Where, yeah, Kawhi Leonard was able to come out and play defense against LeBron, and it went to 7, and they won. Bron still had 35. Right? Was it tough 35? Sure. Bron still had 35. Bron still got to the bucket. Bron still got his points. You know what I'm saying? I love the impact that P. Will can bring on the defensive end. I do. But if he gives me that impact on the offensive end while playing more situational defense, do we think that Giannis can't still get 25 to 35 plus, even if P. Will's playing really good defense? Do we think that Giannis still can't go out there and give you 10 plus rebounds, even if P. Will's playing really good defense? For me, it's about the situational moments. I need situational defense from P. Will. I need when Giannis needs a bucket and it's a close game, P. Will be able to stand there. But at that same time, listen, I need that offense to get going. I need that offense to become that next level thing. I need that offense to become that thing that this Bulls team can hang its hat on, while him being that defender that we need. Now, listen, if you can do both, shout out to you, brother. If you can do both, shout out to you. But where is P. Will's impact going to be felt most? That's what we need to figure out in this series, and that's what we hope to see. Levante says, I just need P. Will defense and playmaking. Okay. What's his defense gonna do if Giannis still scores 25 and Drew Holiday scores 20 plus and Chris Middleton scores 18 plus and Bobby Portis gives you 12 and Brook Lopez gives you 15? And you know what I'm saying? Like at a certain point, you do have to score the ball. And again, like I'm saying, situational. We do need, here's the thing, for us to win this series, we do need P. Will to be offensively inclined, because we, at this point, right, I can't say Kobe White will be. I can't say Kobe White will be that bucket that we're hoping for. I can't say he's going to be the guy that knocks down shot. I need somebody that I know can come out there and get a bucket. It seems like P. Will has that ability through the contact. And the playoffs is where you make your name. This ain't the play-in games, y'all. This ain't us coming into the play-in hoping for the best. This is the playoffs. Names are made in the playoffs. You figured out Jamal Murray was better than what we thought he was in the playoffs. When he was cooking, going back and forth with Donovan Mitchell. Right? This is a time for you to step up and make a name for yourself. This ain't, oh, he's young, he can figure it out. Everybody in the NBA is young. Not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Is Ja Morant young? Where'd Ja's name start to come onto the market? Right? Listen, I'm all for he's young. We want him to move. Jason Tatum was 20. And I'm not saying this if he's not that, we give up on him, but I'm saying, listen, I need you to have those moments. It don't even have to be every game. It don't even have to be every game. There might be games where, hey, I need you to play more defense. JP, that's a great comment. Everyone is young until they average 28 in the playoffs. Everyone is young until they average 28 in the playoffs. That's a great comment. Once you start averaging 28, what's the question? Oh, is he now? When's he going to become this and be that next thing and do? Come on now. The whole conversation changes. The playoffs is where you make your name. This is an opportunity here. Guess what? It's not just an opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has a name, but is it a great name? I'm here. I'll tell you right now, Zach LaVine's a top 5 scorer in this NBA. But the rest of the world wouldn't say that. You know why? Because where's he scoring? He's scoring versus the Orlando Magic in the regular season, right? You got to find a way to make your name here, man. Let's make a stand. 91 people in here. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Let's get it cracking. The biggest thing that this team can do is focus on just getting game 1. If you get it, you get it, right? But focus on changing how they defend you the rest of the series. Game 1's that opportunity. It's not about just winning game 1. It's about changing how they have to play you the rest of the series, and that can extend this series and make this series much longer than anybody thinks it's going to be. There's so much that changes if you change how they have to defend you. There's so much that changes if you get a win. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Sometimes you got a lot of players on this team, right, that are young. And what do? What do they gain from winning? All of a sudden, P. Will believes that the Bulls can beat you. All of a sudden, Kobe White believes that the Bulls can beat you. All of a sudden, Ayo Dosunmu believes that the Bulls can beat you. And sometimes having those young players like that, you're too dumb to realize we're not supposed to be in this situation. We're not supposed to be in this moment. Sometimes that's how it goes. Winning changes everything early, and it shows teams what they need to do to be ready for these moments. And if you can win in your first game of the playoffs, everything changes. Let's find a way to get it, man. Let's find a way to get it. Let's find a way to get it. Let's find a way to get this dub. Appreciate y'all for showing love. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always, man. We got a little bit of time left. Got about 10 minutes left on the show, man. So we're going to let y'all know some things that we have coming up and also some things that we want to get into with the with what's coming up for this playoff series here. We're going to be live every single game for this. We're going to be doing the post-game show as well. I will also be over on Locked On Bulls doing that as well. So make sure you guys tune in with that. I'll also be on Locked On NBA. Hopefully our team will make it deep enough that I'll have something good to talk about on Locked On NBA. We're going to be posting a ton of Bulls content throughout the rest of this postseason. When this ends, because I've had this question a lot as well. When the Bull season ends, if it comes to an end in the first round, if it comes to an end in the second round, if it comes to an end, whenever it does, what are we going to be doing? If you guys are new to the channel, you haven't been here that long, the channel does not stop. The daily show will continue. We will still continue to cover NBA playoffs. We will still continue to cover our Chicago teams. We'll shift to a little bit of football. We'll shift to baseball as well. We're going to still be doing that. We will still have draft breakdown. We will still be doing you will start probably some draft breakdown for Bulls off season as well. You know what I'm saying? And looking at guys that are still in the playoffs that maybe they can go after. There's going to be a lot of content coming y'all way. This is something that we're growing and building, and we're trying to take to the next level. We want to have this on the Pat McAfee show level. For that, we need y'all help, man. We need you guys to, if you can, man, when the show's going live, when you're just listening in, share it to your social medias. Share it to Twitter, share it to Instagram, share it to Facebook, share it to whatever your go-to social media is. You know what I'm saying? Help us out on that front, man. Because we want to grow this family as much as possible, man, and we want to keep y'all going with a ton of content. So we're gonna keep content flooded y'all way. We hope y'all rock with it. If y'all haven't done so, man, check out the latest Bulls content on the page as well. We got a couple of dope videos up there, so tune in with that. And then what else we got? Let me see what we got. Somebody said, I just seen a comment here. What team are you all rooting for if the Bulls don't advance? That's a good question because everybody picks a team, right? If the Bulls don't advance, I'm probably rooting for Memphis. I have a hard time rooting for a team in the same conference as me. The Suns is a good one for Chris Paul. I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what? Probably the Suns. I'd probably cheer for the Suns. We got Suns in the chat, Nets in the chat. I'd probably cheer for the Suns because I want to see PG get one. I do want to see PG get one. I ain't gonna, or not PG, CP3 get one. I would like to see PG get one too, but PG out tonight. I don't know if you guys heard that, so that's gonna be interesting to see how that series ends up. But I do want to see I would love to see the Grizzlies get one. I would love to see Ja Morant come in 2 years in the league and absolutely just be like, "Hey man, this is my team. This is my world. Stop playing with me." The one thing I will say, who do y'all think is the Cinderella story in this? Who do y'all think is the Cinderella story? And Baki coming through with the break. And we got breaking Baki right before we get off the live, man. Let's see what we got. Local reporter for the Windy City Breeze. Baki in the chat. Cavaliers All-Star Jared Allen fractured finger will play tonight versus the Hawks in elimination play-in tournament, barring setback in warm-ups. That'd be crazy. I'm excited for that. Hey, listen, this is the thing, right? Everybody's saying Memphis. Memphis the Cinderella story. Really? Are they? Minnesota could be that. I could see Minnesota being that. But I don't think, Cinderella story is kind of like the team that like loses or the team that wins that you expect not to win. Like I expect the Grizzlies to win. I expect the Grizzlies to I think the Grizzlies could absolutely get pretty far in the playoffs. I think for me, and it's crazy, I think the Toronto Raptors could be. I really think the Raptors are going to upset Philly. I really think the Raptors can upset Philly. I really think that they have a shot. Like for me, I think that we could be talking about them moving forward as a team that is going further than anybody expected. Because if they upset Philly, right, who would they end up playing in that situation? If they upset Philly, they would play, because where are they? They're fifth. So if they upset Philly, they would play the winner of, well, if the Bucks beat us, they would play Milwaukee. Ugh. They would actually beat Milwaukee. All 4 games this year, I want to say. I believe they beat Milwaukee all 4 games, I want to say. And then we would probably end up with, no, they would play Miami, right? Because Miami will play the lowest seed. If Miami wins, they would play Miami. Because Miami will play the lowest seed left if we lose as well. But then again, that also goes into Boston, right? That also goes into, is Boston going to be that next? Even, man, Toronto could beat Miami, dog. I really think Toronto could be the Cinderella story this year. I really believe Toronto has the opportunity because like they match up really well against Miami. They match up really well against Philly. I don't believe in Philly anyway. I haven't believed in Philly in a while now. JP games under 115. They could be that. That could be a fact. I'll give you that one. That's pretty crazy, man. I don't see another team on. Like I don't see Utah getting far. Dallas is iffy, especially without Luka. I believe Luka's out game 1 confirmed at this point. I don't think the Pelicans get through or the Clippers get through Memphis. No, who's playing Minnesota? Memphis in 3. I don't think the Pelicans or Clippers get through Phoenix, especially without Paul George. And I want it to be the Bulls, but like, would you even count the Bulls? Like, if we beat the Bucks, are we a Cinderella story? Like, I get like we made it through a team that we weren't supposed to beat. But if we get through the Bucks, would that make us a Cinderella story? Because like there's a ton of talent on this team. They just didn't play the greatest at the end of the season. Like I feel like Toronto's a team where you look at it and you're like, they're talented, but it is what it is. Yes, because we beat the Champs, but I don't feel like you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like it would be like Kirk Heinrich and them beating the Champs. Like we got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. We have top players in the NBA. I don't think it would be like when we had Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, and they beat the Champs. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't even know if I would call them a Cinderella story. Well, you know what, Baki? That's a good point. A Cinderella season, right? Like you go from 11 to 1 and then you drop back down to 6 as you come to Earth. And then you end up beating the champs and move. I'll give you that. Hey, maybe they got a little Cinderella in them. Got a little Cinderella in them. Okay. I will give you that. That's interesting. That's an interesting one, man. Yes, but there are not many champs falling in the first round after winning the finals. No, but the Bulls have made it competitive on a lot of them. Competitive on a lot of them, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's interesting. See, now here's the question, though. Because Brooklyn plays Boston. What's Brooklyn then? They're 7. Also, the DeMar story would make it a Cinderella. That's true. A lot of narratives on. That's not a bad one. I give you that. Brooklyn winning versus Boston. If Brooklyn win, that's a weird one too. There's a lot of weird ones here. If Atlanta beats Cleveland tonight and goes up against Miami, that would be a good Cinderella story. But that's still an if. David Terrier says if we beat Milwaukee, that's more of a sleeping beauty than a Cinderella story. It's going to be interesting to see, man. I'm glad the playoffs are here. At a minimum, playoffs, baby. Woo! We made it. We in this mug. Can't nobody take it from us. Said maybe the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to figure this thing out, though. We're going to be all right. Hey, listen, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another daily show, man. I know it's a lot of people that, don't stick around and stuff like that. Don't hit the like button. I don't know what's up with that. Mugs, you know what it is? I'm not going to say. It's not that they don't show support. Mugs turn it on and throw their phone in their pocket and never pay attention to it. I know what it is. So shout out to y'all. Like when Muzz be like, y'all just sitting here staring. Yeah, they really are. Like they not even watching. A lot of people just listening to it. So shout out to y'all for even listening, man. I appreciate all the support you guys have shown us. I want to thank you for rocking with us for the entire Bulls regular season. Let's get this Bulls postseason cracking off right, man. Let's make sure that if you guys can, go check out the other Chicago Bulls content we have on the channel. We appreciate all the love that you guys show. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Check the links on the channel or in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Playoffs, baby. Playoffs. Peace.